What's going on, guys? This is another episode here in Nolan's Pod. Tomorrow is the NBA Finals. I will give you guys that tomorrow, but first, the NBA is a cruel business. It is a cruel business. If you watch the NBA enough, you know that. Um, Even when you think that things aren't going to happen, the unexpected ends up happening, and it just leaves you shell shocked. Yesterday, the New York Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau after he led them to the Eastern Conference Finals in 25 years. Tom Thibodeau coached the New York Knicks for 5 seasons. And in those 5 seasons, Tom Thibodeau had a record with the Knicks of 226 and 174 for a winning percentage of 56.5% winning percentage. Tom Thibodeau led the New York Knicks this year to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. Tom Thibodeau coached the Knicks for 5 seasons, and he made them relevant again. And he got them somewhere where they didn't expect to be. In this year's playoffs, it was, you better beat Detroit. Detroit's going to push you, but you better beat Detroit. First round. Second round. You better at least be competitive against Boston. Eastern Conference Finals, we're playing Indiana, so we have a pretty good chance of beating Indiana. We're the favorite. Detroit, first round, takes them to the limit. They finish Detroit. Second round, Boston. They have 2 20-point comebacks at Boston, game 1 and game 2, after everybody thought they were going to lose that series. And everybody thought they were going to lose game 1 and game 2 after they were down 20. And they come back and they win that. They take a 3-1 lead in the series when Jason Tatum got hurt and tore his Achilles. They finish off the Celtics. They run into a red-hot Indiana team who they lost to in 6 games. But in that series, it was, you better not lose on your home floor in game 5. They win that game. Game 6 in Indiana, they obviously lose. To say that this team overachieved to what had happened this regular season, they had a 50-win regular season, but they were like 0-10 against the top teams, against Boston, Cleveland, OKC, teams like that. They were like 0-10 against, and we didn't give them a chance in the playoffs because against the teams with the best record, the Knicks were winless, and they go and they beat Detroit first round. Don't expect them to beat Boston because what happened in the regular season, and they beat Boston. Even had Jason Tatum not gotten hurt, they would have still beat Boston. They had a good chance to beat Indiana. They just came up short. And somehow Tom Thibodeau is the scapegoat because y'all lost. He made y'all relevant in his 5 seasons. 4 out of the 5 seasons that Tom Thibodeau coached y'all went to the playoffs 4 out of those 5 seasons. He led y'all to the East Finals the first time in 25 seasons, or 25 years. Some of this has to go to the front office too. Leon Rose and James Dolan. Leon Rose. You got Jalen Brunson. You've had him for what, 3-4 years? And that's good. Jalen Brunson's a defensive liability. Everybody and their mama knows that. Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, is a defensive liability. I will defend Cat to some degree though. Cat regressed on defense this year. I watched Cat last year with Minnesota take Minnesota to the Western Conference Finals. And in the second round last year when they went against Denver, they threw Cat on Joker. And Cat played pretty good, solid defense on Joker. Didn't stop Joker, but he did contain him enough, him and Rudy Gobert, that he played better defense on Joker than Rudy Gobert did. I've seen Cat be good defensively. For whatever reason, Cat took a step back defensively this year under a Tom Thibodeau-led team that you're like, Cat took a he regressed defensively, and you like, how? Why? On the Tom Thibodeau led team. It wasn't just Cat. The team as a whole was not good defensively. And somehow that's Tom Thibodeau's fault because he's the head coach. Well, front office, y'all didn't give Thibodeau the right personnel for his ball club to be good defensively. So that starts with front office. Y'all didn't give him the right personnel so he could be the good defensive wizard and the good defensive coach that he's always has been known to be. How is that his fault? He didn't make the roster. Y'all gave him that roster. Nobody asked y'all to trade for Karl-Anthony Towns. Nobody asked that. Y'all had Dante DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, and Isaiah Hartenstein. Hartenstein left free agency. Y'all traded DiVincenzo and Julius Randle to Minnesota for Cat. Nobody asked y'all to do that. Y'all traded the grit of team and defense for offense. Y'all did that. Obviously, y'all wasn't going to have enough money to sign Hartenstein back because Hartenstein played his way into a big contract. And he signed with OKC. And you see what he's doing at OKC. They start the finals tomorrow. So that was good for Isaiah Hartenstein. Obviously, you had Mitchell Robinson on the team. And, Mitchell Robinson's good defensively. Hartenstein is good defensively, but Hartenstein is way better than Mitchell Robinson, especially offensively. And then Cat taking his regression on defense, and then Jalen Brunson being a defensive liability. It just didn't work. Now you got OG, who's one of the best perimeter and lockdown defenders in the league. Mikal Bridges is not too shabby. But as far as all the other guys and the whole personnel of the team, what was Tom Thibodeau supposed to do? And it was shocking because this team was so better offensively than they were defensively. And I keep saying, we know Tom Thibodeau-led teams is defense first. Tom Thibodeau-led teams have always been better defensively in defensive statistics than they have in the offensive categories. And this year, the flip side of that, it was the other way around this year. So that's the weird thing about this Tom Thibodeau-led team. But again, that starts with the front office. Give the coach the right personnel to make things work. The Knicks got to the Eastern Conference Finals without being good defensively. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals with their offense. At times, their offense was stagnant because of the Jalen Brunson and Cat, and they relied on those guys so much. Rightfully so. When you offer 5 first-round picks to the Brooklyn Nets for Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is a good player. He's a solid player. I like Mikal Bridges. But on the flip side of that, Mikal Bridges is no all-star. He's no all-star caliber player to be trading somebody for 5 first-round picks. And somehow that's Tom Thibodeau's fault too. Leon Rose at some point has to be held accountable. You made Tom Thibodeau a scapegoat for your doings. Nobody told you to go out and trade give the next 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges like he's some kind of all-star player, and he's not. He's a good, solid role player that starts, and that's an Iron Man. But he's no Kevin Durant. He's no Giannis, those two might be on the move this offseason. He's not one of those guys. If I'm going to give up 5 first-round picks, I'm going to give it up for Giannis or KD or somebody of that caliber. Not for no Mikal Bridges. And that's no disrespect to Mikal Bridges. I love him. He's a good player. Good, solid player. He's a role player. He's no all-star. He's no superstar. But obviously, when you do business with the Brooklyn Nets, your crosstown rivals, you're going to have to give up something to get something. So, that's on Leon Rose. Leon Rose is held accountable for that Mikal Bridges trade, especially if it doesn't pan out the way that it should. Another thing is, we know how Tibbs is. We know Tibbs has that demeanor, and, Tibbs is very stubborn, and he's stuck in his ways, and he's not willing to change it for nobody. And we know he has those old school ways. We know that. And we know that he's going to play the starters like we playing a video game. He going to play them all game, just about. I can defend Thibodeau right here. Leon Rose, when you don't give the coach a bench to play with because you made the Karl-Anthony Towns trade and now you're lacking depth and you don't have a bench, and then we criticize Tom Thibodeau for not playing his bench, for always playing his starters, notoriously always playing his starters. Well, he couldn't play his bench this year because he didn't have a bench. He didn't really have a reliable bench. Guys that could come off the bench, give you 16 to 18 points. Tom Thibodeau didn't have that. So I can defend Tom Thibodeau with that, with playing the starters. He didn't have a bench. Y'all traded away all y'all depth when y'all got Karl-Anthony Towns. That's not Thibodeau's fault. That's Leon Rose's fault. He didn't have a bench. To get Karl-Anthony Towns, you had to give up your depth. In the playoffs, Thibodeau changed, and he started playing his bench more in the Eastern Conference Finals. Indiana obviously had more depth than the Knicks, but Thibodeau changed. He brought the Landry Shamet off the bench, Precious Achiuwa, DeLon Wright. They played a key role in the Eastern Conference Finals. He brought them off the bench, and part of that was only because Cat is always in foul trouble because he's always committing stupid fouls. Jalen Brunson's in foul trouble. He's a defensive liability. That was part of the reason that Thibodeau had those guys playing off the bench, because he didn't have a choice. And then those guys, they needed rest. Cat and Jalen Brunson, them, they needed the rest too at points in time in that series. Thibodeau never had a deep bench. That's Leon Rose's fault. But to make Tom Thibodeau a scapegoat was just, that's beyond me. When a man makes y'all, the Knicks had not been relevant before they got Tom Thibodeau. They had not been relevant for the last, 8 years before they got Tom Thibodeau. They were not relevant. Even when they had Carmelo Anthony and the Stoudemires and Lynn Sanity came through, and they had the Mike Woodsons, who I love to death dearly, Coach Mike. They weren't relevant then like they were now with Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau made y'all relevant again. He made us start respecting the Knicks again. He made the Knicks watchable on TV. He made us start actually secretly low-key cheering for the Knicks, even though I hate the Knicks. I hate New York sports, all of it. My hatred for New York sports will never change. I hate it. I hate New York sports. I don't like it. They can kiss my you-know-what for all. I hate it. My hatred for New York sports, I hate it. Tom Thibodeau made me secretly start liking the Knicks when they got good. He changed the culture. And now he out of a job right now today. Tom Thibodeau's playoff record is 48-55. Tom Thibodeau's playoff record with the Knicks was 24-23. Tom Thibodeau led this team to 50 consecutive win seasons. That had not been done in a while. Tom Thibodeau won 4 playoff series with the Knicks. He's a 2008 NBA champion as an assistant coach on that Boston Celtics team under Doc Rivers. That's how he got the job with the Bulls. Because of that championship under Doc Rivers. And he was the defensive coordinator on that Doc Rivers-led championship team. Thibodeau is a two-time coach of the year. His first season, he won coach of the year in his first season coaching with the Chicago Bulls. MVP Derrick Rose days. He made Derrick Rose what he was. He also drove Derrick Rose into the ground. He gets a lot of scrutiny for that, rightfully so. He made Jimmy Butler what he was. You know? And you can make the case that he's made Jalen Brunson into what he was. When Jalen Brunson was on the Dallas Mavericks, Jalen Brunson was a good player. But Jalen Brunson was not the superstar on the Dallas Mavericks that he is with the New York Knicks. So you can make the case that Tom Thibodeau made MVP Derrick Rose what he was because he won MVP up under Tom Thibodeau. You can make the case that he made Jimmy Butler what he was. When Tom Thibodeau was coaching those Bulls teams, Jimmy Butler was not like that yet. The more he played under Thibodeau gave him the shine in the minutes. Jimmy Butler ascended into the guy that we know as Jimmy Butler today. He made Jalen Brunson too. As I just told y'all, Jalen Brunson was a good player, but he wasn't a superstar on the Mavericks like he is on the Knicks. Tom Thibodeau made Jalen Brunson too. Thibodeau also won Coach of the Year 10 years later with the New York Knicks in 2021. He's a two-time Coach of the Year. Tom Thibodeau's overall record is 578 and 420. That's good for a winning percentage of 57.9. And just looking at all my notes here that I got written down, man. I look at all these notes that I got written down, and I'm yesterday when the news broke, if you know Shams Charania, the NBA insider, if you follow the ESPN app and you get the notifications from Shams, you probably, if y'all follow, y'all probably got that notification. I got that notification on my phone yesterday too. It was about 2 something, and I was asleep. When I woke back up, it was about 2 something when the news broke, and I was asleep. When I woke up, naturally check my phone, whatever, and I see that Shams say Tom Thibodeau has been relieved of his duties. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I just check my phone, I see it. Shams is obviously a reliable source. Shams did not get hacked or anything like that. But I just think that because I just checked my phone, I just woke up, maybe I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm still asleep. Maybe I'm dreaming, like I'm just having a dream. So I turn on the TV to make sure I'm not tripping, I ain't still asleep. I turn on ESPN. First thing I see, Tom Thibodeau's fired. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, really? Seriously? He made y'all relevant into what y'all are today, right now. And y'all got to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. And y'all were 0-10 against the top teams this year. Nobody gave y'all a chance to beat Boston. And y'all beat them. It was a grit and grind series against Detroit. Y'all finished them. A lot of people expected y'all to beat Indiana. Obviously, y'all came up short. But y'all pushed in 6 games. Y'all made playing at the Garden fun again. Y'all made the celebrities come out at the Garden. Y'all made Knicks basketball watchable again. Y'all made the big splash and y'all got Cat to go along the pair along with Jalen Brunson. And they were an unstoppable duo. And Tom Thibodeau led y'all somewhere where y'all had not been in a long, long time. Now, obviously, that game 1 was a choke, literally. And that came back and haunted the Knicks. Had the Knicks won that game, the Knicks were probably still going to lose anyway. So I'm tired of hearing, the Knicks won that game, they probably were going to win the series. Indiana was the better team anyway. Had Indiana lost game 1, they were still going to win the series anyway. We can't throw that on Tom Thibodeau for his team not executing down the stretch and for his team taking their foot off the gas. We can't put that game on Tom Thibodeau. What I would tell y'all is, whoever the next coach is, y'all better have a 50-win season. Y'all better get back to the Eastern Conference Finals, or it's a failed season. And we going to circle around, and we going to look back at Leon Rose, and we going to look back at James Dolan, and we going to say, why the hell did y'all fire Tibbs? For what? When he just led y'all to the farthest y'all have gotten in 25 years. we're going to look back at that Mikal Bridges trade, 5 first-round picks, and we're going to be like, why the hell was that ever done? And we might even question them trading for Cat to some degree in the future. Who knows? Everywhere Tom Thibodeau has gone, he's improved the team. When he got the coaching job with the Bulls were irrelevant too. He made watching the Bulls fun again. When he got fired from Chicago, Minnesota hired him. You know how long Minnesota had been irrelevant. And they had the Jimmy Butlers and the Cat. So Cat played for Tom Thibodeau before in Minnesota. So it's not like when this trade happened, Cat was unfamiliar with Tibbs. He was familiar, very, very familiar with Tibbs because he played for Tibbs in Minnesota. He got Minnesota, Thibodeau. He got them to the playoffs that they hadn't been to in probably but 15 years. He made Minnesota relevant again. He goes to the Knicks, and he made the Knicks what they are today. And he takes them further than what they've been in 25 years. And today he's out of a job. I keep hearing Mike Malone. I keep hearing Jeff Van Gundy. Those are 2 good choices to hire. My dad even said Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson would be a good hire. I would like that. But you know how people are against Mark Jackson for some reason, even though he started those great Warrior teams. But those are 3 choices: Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Mike Malone. Maybe even consider Mike Budenholzer. But whoever the next coach going to be, y'all better do something. Y'all better get into a championship. Y'all better get into a championship. Because if not, I'm telling you, we know Thibodeau got his ways, but he led them to somewhere they had not been. And this team improved every single year. But Leon Rose did not help the situation by the roster that he gave Thibodeau. That's all I have for you guys today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know, do you think Tom Thibodeau should have been fired tomorrow? Finals predictions. We out of here.